Hello and welcome back to It's What I Do. Going to do another vlog type video today. It's been about a month since I did the last update, and it's probably time for me to do another one. Plus the weather is really not good enough for me to do anything else really. Keeps raining, which is unfortunate, but there you go. Anyhow, stop waffling and get on with it. So video wise, what are we doing? Well, we've still got some videos planned. We've got the servicing of the van series to finish. I've got an up filter to make, and we've got some trips out very shortly. I've got the NHS rider thanks to do next weekend, and the following week after that we go up to Kew Gardens for the day. So what's happened this last month? Well, quite a lot really. We've seen some really good growth on the channel, and thank you very much to everybody who's newly subscribed. It is appreciated, and I do hope you find something amongst the plethora of different things that I do that you enjoy. There's certainly a huge level of variety on my channel, which is not something you're going to get on everywhere else. Most people niche down, as they say. What else have we had happen? I had a VidIQ review, which I'll show you in a second, and I'll give a response to that. VidIQ, it's not for everybody. They do give really good advice. They do know what they're talking about. But unfortunately, when you do these reviews, you don't get an opportunity to actually talk or explain or tell them why things are the way they are. But anyhow, we'll go through that, and I'll do a little bit of voiceover and such like with the video, and explain it. Their advice is good, but it's not suitable for everybody. Just isn't. Doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for me, what they're saying. So yeah, okay, let's go through the videos, and I'll show you what's happening on the channel, and some surprising results that have come up from one of the shorts, which is quite good, quite pleasing. Anyhow, enough waffle from me sitting here. Let's go through it on the computer.
It's what I do.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So what does this person do?
Lots of things, actually. This channel submitted under so we always ask on the forum, like, what's your channel about? And they said DIY plus. So I was kind of, curious about that. So I clicked on it, and yeah, this channel seems to do a lot of very interesting and or helpful things.
Well, that's a good start to the audit. It appreciates that I do a lot of interesting and useful things. So yeah, I mean, I do try and make it as interesting as I can for people. So let's move on a little bit more.
But the thing I think we're all going to talk about with this channel is the various categories. So I'm seeing there's some koi pond, like, cleaning videos and things like that. So pond cover coming off, cleaning the pond, filters. I have to assume there's a little more Relax with Fish 4K. So there's some fish related content. But then you look, and some of the more vibrant thumbnails are these GoPro ones when they're comparing it to these aren't even GoPros. The DJI
Action
Osmo
cam comparisons. Yeah.
Yes, camera comparisons. And then we have, detailing a car. There's some videos about motorcycles. And then there's vlogs and things like that. So the thing we always like to tell channels is that it's really important to pick one of these categories. Definitely when you're starting, and, probably for the duration of your channel, honestly. But as you grow, you have a little more freedom to kind of play around with, different things. But right now, if you could, in my opinion, you can start an entire channel around building a pond in your backyard and taking care of it.
Right, well, unfortunately they seem to get hooked up on this idea. some people, and they don't seem to be able to appreciate this, some people cannot niche down, which is what he's talking about. If I was to do that, I would produce a video once every 3 or 4 months, because I simply cannot afford to spend that sort of money on a dedicated topic. So I tend to do videos about the things that I do, which is why the channel name is It's What I Do. So yeah, niching down isn't always possible for people, but there are other ways to grow, and there's other advice that can be given. I mean, how are my thumbnails? Are there any improvements I could make on those? What about my titles? Are they snappy enough? There's other things there that could be said, and unfortunately, as you'll see with the rest of this, they get bogged down on this, my inability to niche down. A shame, but there we go. It's just, I'd love to be able to do it. I'd love to be able to pick a topic. I'd love to be able to do camera reviews all the time because they're popular. I'd love to be able to do stuff on my fish pond all the time. But there's only so many times you can sit and watch somebody clean a fish pond, or feed the fish, or I don't know, scrape for parasites. There's only so many times you can do that before it becomes a little bit and people are not going to be that interested. Yes, I would love to be able to afford to build a new pond, but hey, I haven't got the money. That's the be all and end all. I simply haven't got the money to concentrate on one topic. So there we go. Anyhow, I'll let you listen to the rest of this. And it is good advice, don't get me wrong, it is good advice. And these guys do know what they're talking about, and that if you're building a channel, they are well worth actually subscribing to and getting the apps and such like. Yeah, so I'm not knocking them one little bit. I'm just a little bit disappointed that they got hung up on my inability to niche down. Anyhow, let's carry on.
You could talk about the different fish you're getting for it. You could talk about all the different products that come with that. You could review products for it. That alone could be a whole channel, as could reviewing cameras side by side. You know, that is also a whole channel. And then Windows 10, you know, your drive's failing to connect. Yeah.
It's a wonderful contrast, isn't it? Got a bike ride. And when you get home from your bike ride, if you've got a problem with your Windows 10 network drive, this is how you can fix it.
And then you can upload the footage from your cameras.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're passionate and interested about a lot of different things. And I think a lot of us on YouTube kind of start this way, especially in gaming. We do this all the time where we play a bunch of different games. We're not really sure what our channel is going to be about yet. And, eventually something kind of takes off, and you are not only really interested in one of the subjects, but it's also doing well on your channel. So hopefully you have some data that is helping kind of point you in a direction. These camera comparisons that you do seem to do okay, but have you considered the future in that? Can you continue comparing these cameras? Can you go into the different settings? How much content can you do around those? Are you going to keep buying more? This is kind of like the plight of a tech channel, right, Jeff? It's, when you start, you have all kinds of gadgets laying around, and so you're just kind of throwing them on your channel, seeing what's going to work. And then when something works, you've got to double down on that. So suddenly your iPhone videos took off, and now you're going out buying phones that you can't, when you just started a channel, probably shouldn't be doing. And that's kind of the path we're on with the camera videos. I personally think I'd be very interested in seeing a channel dedicated to things like the pond maintenance and stuff like that, because it may sound kind of boring, but that would be very helpful. And also, like you've noticed with your shorts, like therapeutic, just watching fish swim around in 4K is something people would like to do. So I think there's a lot of content there.
I think what I just want to add here is that there's nothing wrong if you want to talk about all of these things because you're passionate about all of these things. That's fine. And if you want to use YouTube as the medium for that, great. But what we will say is you submitted your channel because you want to grow an audience. And I think that's the important contrast that you have to look at. There's many things that you're interested in, but your audience usually gravitates to one particular focus of your interest. And each of your channels, I mean, usually it'd be one of your channel should reflect that at least to begin with. And so that's why you're going to get these very spiky views of 1,000 views on the big ride. And then you just hit a nice search term for Windows 10 mapped drives and then one about cameras. But day to day, video to video, you're going to get these very spiky views of 11 views, 30 views, and so on. Jeff, you were...
Just quickly touch on that. He's correct in what he's saying. YouTube has a problem actually delivering out content because it doesn't know who to deliver it to. I accept that. I can understand that. But that then falls back onto the thing that I've been going on about for quite a while, and that's YouTube allowing people to subscribe to playlists. If people could subscribe to a playlist, it would target that audience and they'd know exactly who to send that video to. It would make things so much better for channels like mine, if we could have it so that they subscribe to a playlist. Anyhow, let's carry on.
Just briefly mention that, so maybe chime in. And as well, JJ, at any point now, if you want to contribute, just chime in as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I mean, I completely agree. And we don't want to stifle anybody's creativity. I just want to make that completely clear. Yeah. But that's just one of the things that you could be shooting yourself in the foot, metaphorically speaking, because having all these different interests, which is great. We're all multifaceted. We're human beings. We like a lot of different things. But if it makes it very difficult for YouTube to know who to recommend your content to when you're all over the place. And you can have multiple topics on a channel, which is completely fine, but keep them close to each other. You know, if you're going to be cooking, talk about baking as well. If we're going to do automotive, feel free to talk about trucks as well. But, you know, if I'm doing music, I'm not going to be giving people baking recipes as well. I'm going to try to keep it at least within the same realm. Like, I talk about audio products on my own channel, but I also delve into general tech every now and then because it is related. So I try to keep it as close as possible. What you won't be catching me is, you know, doing El Jefe's baking recipes. That might be a whole separate channel, but it's not going to happen on my regular channel. So that's just something. Maybe just find a little bit of focus, try to grow this audience a bit, and then start spreading out a little bit.
Yeah, I just want to chime in really quickly. I agree. And 44 subscribers is a reflection of that. Because if I would have watched one of your videos regarding to cleaning the pond filters, and I'm like, oh, great, let me subscribe to this channel. And the next thing you know, it's like something about fish or tech. And I'm like, what is this? I'm going to unsubscribe. Or I won't subscribe at all because I'm not quite sure what your channel is. And people essentially, sadly, they want to, it's not just the YouTube algorithm that wants to decide, it's just humans as well. Like if you go into a restaurant and this happens to me, there's too many items on the menu. You're just like, this is too overwhelming. I'm going to go to the restaurant next door that has 5 items on the menu. So that's just something to think about. If it's just offering too much, sometimes it's less is more.
Quick side story here. My fiance and I, we have like movie night on a Saturday. And so we each pick a film each week. And I'm at a point now where I'm paralyzed by choice because I've got Netflix, Amazon Prime, and what's the other one? Stars on Disney. And I spend 45 minutes trying to decide what I'm going to watch because there's just so much. And so, yeah, I think there is a good point there with focus. And also, folks, if you want to make this happen, do put in the chat hashtag El Jefe's Baking Channel. Let's get that up and running. All right, JJ, let's fight.
Okay, so that was my channel review. And as I said, they're not wrong in what they're saying, and I do appreciate what they're saying. It's just I can't do it. And I was hoping for more advice on, as I say, on the thumbnails and the titles and that kind of thing, but they got hooked up on this too many topics issue and didn't really move any further. We'll go on and actually have a look at how the channel's doing, because some of what they've said doesn't seem to be proving true. You'll see the amount of subscribers that I've gained over the last month or so, which has been really, really good, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate those that stick with me. But yeah, we'll move on and we'll have a look at that. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to sort of show you is this toolbar thing up the top here. This is one of the tools that you get when you sign up with VidIQ, and it is really useful. So As you can see here, this shows when you drop down, when you hover over it, you get a drop down of the various things that it can monitor for you. So you can see my subscriber count has gone up from 44 when they did the review up to 154, which is really, really good. And my hours watched has gone up to 380 hours that count towards the monetization thing of 4,000 hours. So yeah, that's really, really good. So the next thing, let's have a look at the back end of the channel. Okay, so we go into content and we sort it by views. We see the Relax with Fishes shorts video is now up to 92,675 views, which is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It's a short, so all the views that I'm gaining on that don't count towards my monetization, because shorts don't. But I have got quite a few subscribers from that video, which is really good, and I thank you for that. Then we see the comparison between the Brave 7 and the Osmo Action. I've got nearly 3,365 views on that. 1,560 on the Windows network drives. The little Mandrake video, again that's a short, that's 1,239. Bike rides 970. The workaround that I did for the audio issue on the Brave 7, 463, and you can see that they tail down. So yeah, the growth and the views on the channel have done really, really well this month, and thank you everybody who's watched. That's where we stand at the moment with the channel. As I say, doing really well. I will answer one of the other things that they said about when they said that YouTube doesn't know where to post your videos. I watched an insider video from YouTube about the algorithm and how it does it, and by saying that they don't know where to show my videos from my channel doesn't ring true with what the channel insider people, like the YouTube people, have said, because they say they recommend videos according to each individual video. So that's why some videos do really, really well and some don't, because they do it from a viewer's point of view. They recommend the video from a viewer's point of view, not a channel point of view, but from a viewer. So if a viewer is interested in ponds and fishes and things like that, they're going to see my videos on ponds and the fish and things like that. If they're interested in camera reviews, they're going to hopefully see my videos on camera reviews, and that's from a viewer's perspective, and that, according to YouTube, is how the algorithm, the recommendations algorithm, works. So I don't know. I don't know who's right. You only really need to look at successful channels to know that successful channels do niche down. They do. It's an unfortunate fact of life, but they do. But let's have a quick look at the analytics and just show you what's there with that. So on the analytics, we can see I've had 89,000 views, 554 hours of watch time, and I've gained 112 subscribers in the last 28 days, which is really good. Really pleased about that. If we look at the reach, we can see impressions. We've got 328,000 impressions with an 8.7% click-through rate, so we've got 28,000 views out of that 328,000 times that YouTube have actually presented my video for somebody to watch. So again, I'm quite pleased with that. That's quite good. For a channel that can't niche down, I'm quite pleased with that. Very pleased. Yeah, so there we go. So what's next? As I say, I've got some more videos to do on the let's go into there, on the vehicle maintenance. We see there we've got that one and that one. This is going to be a series of sort of 2 or 3 videos, might even be 4, and they're not ones that everybody are going to enjoy, I know that, but they're going to sit on my channel forever, and they'll be there to help people out forever. They're what they call evergreen, I suppose. They'll always be there and people can look back at them. So yeah, I've got some more of those to do. I've got some more pond ones to do. Where's my pond? There's my pond one. So I've got some more pond ones to do. I've got an up filter to make. I have got all the parts now. It's just getting the time in dry weather to actually get out and do it. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I should think, I should be able to get something done on this. I've also got to decide on the height of it, because the tube that I've bought is 1 metre long, and when you've got all the fittings on it and everything else, you're adding at least another ½ metre onto it, and 1.5 metre tall filter is quite a tall filter, so I might have to cut it down a little bit. I don't know. I'll think about that one. Bike rides. The next bike ride that I've got coming up is next weekend, and that's the NHS Ride of Thanks that we're going to be doing. That should be quite good. Quite looking forward to that. And then the following week I'm on holiday, and midweek around my wedding anniversary, which if you want to know is the 13th of July. Around that, on the 14th of July, we go to Kew Gardens for the day. So I'll try and get some video of that done as well. So, yeah, that's where we are with the channel. Hopefully you stuck around and watched this. And for all my existing subscribers, thank you very much. And for all my new subscribers, again, thank you very much. And I hope you find something on the channel that you find interesting and worth watching. Always drop me a comment. I'm always pleased to hear from people. And of course I've got a Facebook page now that you can always jump over to. Links are in the descriptions of the videos. So yeah, by all means jump over and follow me on Facebook. And I hope to see you all again soon and speak to you soon. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please give me a like and subscribe down below. Thanks. Bye for now.